Right, so first of all, let's understand one thing first. And I have a whole video on it, so I'm going to go over it very, very quick. And the thing that we need to understand before we start using left, right, top, bottom is we need to understand what happens to the cue ball naturally. When the cue ball is not spinning forward, not spinning backwards. What's going to happen is if this ball is pocketed, assuming that it's pocketed direct center pocket, okay, the ball is going to take what we call the tangent line. And what this means is that if you were to draw a line from the ball to the pocket, a direct line, the cue ball is going to take what we call the tangent line, which is a 90-degree direction, either left or right of the one ball, depending on where the cue ball is, right? Right now the cue ball's off to this side of the ball, so when you hit it, it's going to follow this tangent line that way. When it's not spinning forward or backwards. Now, understand that left and right does not affect this tangent line. The only way that it would perceive, like you would see it affect the tangent line, is if you use top or bottom, or you do not hit this ball directly exactly where you think it's going to hit. Maybe you hit it to the side, this side of the pocket, and so that changes the tangent line ever so slightly. And that may happen because when you use left or right, you risk spinning the one ball and hitting it. Maybe you get spin-induced throw, which you end up throwing this ball to this side of the pocket, and that means it overcuts, and so the tangent line, instead of being here, it's more like there. Or maybe it squirts a little bit on you, so you hit to this part of the pocket, and so now instead of your tangent line being here, it's over here. Those little tiny discrepancies in left and right is a big reason why I try to avoid as much left and right as I can, so I can have the accuracy of pocketing this ball exactly where I want to hit it if I need to cheat the pocket or anything. So let's take a look at that, what that looks like. No sliding, and so we're about a one diamond away, so I'm just gonna hit this about a center ball with just a good pop. We'll see where this lands. Okay. Okay, it just followed the tangent line. Now, one of the things when you measure the tangent line that's really important that you need to understand is that the ball is not going to come off of the edge of the cue ball and hit that spot on the tangent line. It's going to come from where the center of the cue ball is and go towards that tangent line. Okay, now, how do we adjust this? Okay, very simply, if you want to go in front of the tangent line, very simply, you use top English. If you want to come behind the tangent line, you use bottom. Top and bottom. Now, you can technically use this to get just about anywhere on the table, but we're also going to show you how spin works with this, okay? So, I'm gonna hit this with a little bit of bottom, and you're going to see the cue ball is going to actually pull back a little bit here, okay? Just nice and easy. You saw how far the cue ball went back, okay? Now the same thing with top. If I just use center top, you're gonna see that cue ball go forward. Now, this is where the fun begins, because I know a lot of you just wanna learn how to get on your next shot, right? I know that's always the best thing, is how do I get onto the next shot? Okay, now in pool we always want to think 3 balls ahead, and I know sometimes that may be a little bit difficult, so I'm just going to show you the best way to get pretty much anywhere on the table, and you can apply this to any shot. I'm just going to keep it as the same shot for sake of ease and understanding, right? So let's say I need to get over here into this vicinity because my next shot is maybe here. Okay, my angle's going this way, so I can't just draw it back, right? So I'm just gonna use top. We saw the ball hit here. If I want the ball to get down here, I want it to hit the rail, and then I want it to turn to the right. So what I'm gonna use is I'm gonna use top, right. And it's really that simple. You look at the rail and you understand which direction on the rail do you want it to go. So when I use top, I know I can't get it to go forward over here. There's not enough, it's not straight enough. So I know it's gonna come this way. So it's gonna go here, and then I want it to turn right. So I'm gonna use top, right. And let's see what that looks like. And I have to account for the throw. I have to account for the fact that it's gonna squirt out a little bit. So this is what this looks like. Okay, and the less amount of right I use, the more it comes back this way. Okay, I hope that's very understandable. If I use less right, okay, I'm gonna have less of a right turn. Just like when you're driving a car, if you don't turn the steering wheel that much, it's not gonna turn very fast. Now, let's say I need to get over here. Okay, we saw my tangent line is actually way out here. So if I take that natural tangent line, and I think the way it goes into the rail in is the way it's gonna come out, my cue ball is gonna naturally come this way. I'm gonna follow the cue ball is gonna follow it in, and the same way it goes in is the same way it's gonna go out. So what I'm gonna actually do is I'm gonna still go top, but I'm just gonna add a little bit of left-hand English, and this is what this looks like. And I can even use center top because it's still gonna come out at an angle. So if I wanna come like right here, I can almost use center top from the angle that I have. And that's what that looks like. Now, ultimately, I want you guys to understand, you can do this as a drill if you'd like, okay? It does work as a drill in which you can literally try to land and hit all of these balls along the rail and try to do it that way. You know, a lot of times pool, you don't need to be that precise, but at least you get an idea of exactly how hard you need to go. So if I want to open up a little bit more, let's say I wanted to scratch, I'm going to use the same top. And again, I'm going to the top, I'm gonna hit here somewhere in this rail. I need it to spin to the left, so just a little bit of top left if I wanna come towards this side pocket. Not really ever a reason to do that, but maybe that distance is different because maybe you're shooting the 7 ball from here, and that's about where the side pocket would be in relation, right? So, here we go. Okay, I'm already adjusting for all of the throw and all of that jazz. Okay, and I actually scratched perfectly. Okay, now this is where things get a little bit tricky because there's a lot of different ways to play this area of the table. I already showed you that the tangent line will naturally allow the cue ball to come this way. So let's just see what that looks like. I'm just gonna hit center ball and just let my cue ball naturally take me where it's gonna go. Okay, and here we are, right here at the center dot. But for some of the people that like to try to get fancy, which I don't like to anymore, I used to be one of those guys that would spin it around the table even though I didn't need to. Miss a lot of shots, but eventually I learned how to get good at it. But now I've simplified my game quite a bit. So what we could do here is actually just still do the same shot as before, use top, and just use a lot of left. And that's what this looks like here. I'm basically gonna be on the outside of the cue ball here, and I'm just gonna spin through this ball. And you see how much more cue ball spin I can get just by using that more left-hand English, right? Now, as we start moving forward up the table, I can use more left, or I can actually just decide to use just a touch of draw. And look at what this looks like. And all that did was it changed the angle at which my cue ball went into the rail. My tangent line would have been somewhere about here, and so I drew it out so that my cue ball went like this, and it naturally opened up. Now this is something that I highly recommend doing for all of you beginning players that actually really for everybody, actually, to be honest with you, is stop trying to spin the ball. You can get anywhere on this table really with minimal left and right. You don't have to worry about all these people put out videos about you know, spin-induced throw, the squirt that happens when you use left or right English, the deflection, all of these things. And then swerve, if you're at a distance and you use left, it might squirt out to the right, but then swerve back into the left, and then you have to account for all that. Just stay closer to center. You can literally get anywhere that you want. Okay, I got to here. Let's get to this rail. So I'm just going to use more draw. I'm just going to use a touch of left-hand English. I'm gonna stay way, way low here. I need to make sure that my draw takes, so I'm gonna hit it just a little bit smoother, not as much pop. And I actually really overspun that. And this is something that you guys can work on dialing in. And again, you can do the drill where you go and you put a ball along the rail at every diamond and just work on hitting that. But now let's say your next shot's here. This is where you can get fancy too, because you can actually use this, what we were just talking about, to your advantage. If I allow this natural angle to come here, I'm going to come here, and on the second rail, usually the cue ball dies. So unless you're going with the rails, going here to here is using the opposite rail. So if I came here to here, my English would still take the same direction. So let's say I was getting shape on the 8-ball. Some way to be fancy for all you people that want to practice the fancy stuff is we can use draw and a lot of left-hand spin and just hit this a little bit firmer. So this is what this looks like here. I slid a little bit onto the 8-ball there. You know, obviously I want to come a little bit into more of this angle. And so what I would do to ensure that I came more down here is I would make sure that I got to this rail a little bit higher and not too low down here, because then I come here and then I get up too high there. And so again, if I want to do that, what am I going to do? I'm just going to add more draw, and that's it. And that's how you adjust all of your Englishes, literally to get anywhere on the table that you want to. That's what this looks like here. Got a little bit higher and then ended up coming a little bit lower. It looks like I'm headed for a scratch potentially, but nope, I didn't scratch. Now I'm on the 8-ball. I don't know why you'd ever need to play that, but I've seen people do that shot when they don't need to. So just to kind of show you guys really the idea of getting around the table. This is a really, really important thing to understand: how to use top, how to use bottom, how to use left, how to use right. And all of these shots, with the exception of that last one and the one where I spun it with a lot of left, you don't really need that much left or right, okay? I really hope this video was helpful. If it was, please make sure you hit the like button. And if you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe and stay tuned for more videos like these. Leave a comment below and let me know what kind of videos you guys would like to see a little bit more of, and maybe I can make it happen. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.